Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely.
Awesome. Today, we're going to be exploring this really interesting book that delves into this whole concept of energy
Oh,
and how
cool.
it connects to our consciousness and spiritual growth and all that.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
kind of like a journey, into this power within each of us, like this potential just waiting to be activated.
Hmm. I like that.
Yeah. So the book uses this metaphor, right, and talks about this inactive light bulb
Uh-huh.
to represent our untapped potential.
Okay.
Like the bulb has all this potential to shine, right? But it needs that electric current to ignite it,
Yeah.
that life force.
So what is it saying that life force is?
Well, that's the really cool part.
Hmm.
It suggests that this life force, it actually resides within us.
Within
Yeah,
us.
it's not just some abstract concept out there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
think back to a time when you felt like truly alive, just buzzing with energy, almost like you were glowing from within.
Oh, yeah.
That feeling, that surge of vitality, that might be a glimpse of this life force in action.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, and the book even goes further and starts exploring how our beliefs, they can actually shape the way this energy manifests.
Oh, okay.
Like it uses this fascinating example of snake bites, right?
Okay.
It suggests that in some cases, like it's not the venom itself that's fatal,
Oh, wow.
but the belief that the snake bite is deadly.
I see.
And so, it brings up this really powerful question. How much are our beliefs actually shaping our reality?
That's a great question.
Right, like influencing our experiences, even creating our own limitations.
Definitely.
It's a lot to think about. Makes you really reconsider the power of the mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the book frames this awakening of the life force as like a significant commitment.
Okay.
It's not just, a casual thing.
Right. Yeah.
It compares it to the transformation of a seed into a tree.
Yep.
The seed has to surrender completely to that process of growth, like
I see.
letting go of its former identity to become something totally new.
I see. So what's the takeaway for us there?
Well, it makes you think, like, what are we holding back from in our own journey of growth?
Yeah.
What are we hesitant to invest in fully?
Interesting. I like that.
Right? It's a powerful question to consider.
Yeah, it is.
Um, the book also tells this story, right, about a multimillionaire.
Okay.
And he sells this gold mine right before striking it rich.
Oh, no.
I know. He had been digging and digging and digging, but he got discouraged, right, and gave up.
Oh, that's so sad.
But here's the thing, the buyer, he found gold just a foot below where the millionaire stopped digging.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
man.
a crazy story, right?
It is. What does it mean?
Well, for one thing, it definitely highlights the importance of perseverance,
Of course. Yeah.
but it also, it prompts us to look beyond those apparent failures
Mm.
and to consider, are we giving up too soon?
Yeah.
Like, are there areas in our lives where a breakthrough might be just around the corner?
Mm.
If we just persist a little longer.
That's true.
It's like, it makes you think about those abandoned projects or dreams,
Oh, yeah.
the ones that might be worth revisiting with like renewed determination.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
But the book also emphasizes the importance of conserving energy
Okay.
for this inner work,
Mhm.
particularly for, the practice of meditation.
Meditation. Yeah.
It's like all our daily activities, they can drain our energy reserves.
Right.
So learning to conserve and replenish that energy, it's crucial for our overall well-being.
Makes sense.
The book suggests that meditation is actually a way to tap into this deeper energy source,
Okay.
to connect with this universal energy field that sustains us and nourishes us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
Well, that's where the book's unique structure comes in. It has
Yeah.
these 9 sessions that focus on silent meditation.
Silent meditation.
Yeah.
Okay.
It describes silence as like a powerful form of communication. A way to receive insights that go beyond words.
Wow.
Like, it's almost like tuning into a frequency beyond language, a realm of knowing that transcends our usual ways of thinking and perceiving.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
Can you even describe that with words?
Well, that's the thing. The book even suggests that the experience of connecting with this universal energy, it's so profound, it's nearly impossible to describe with words.
Oh, wow.
It uses this imagery. It talks about becoming a tiny leaf floating in the infinite ocean of winds. It's a beautiful metaphor, right?
Yeah, it is.
For the dissolution of the ego. and the experience of interconnectedness.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, can you visualize yourself in that state?
Hmm.
Just surrendering to the vastness of existence.
Mm. Yeah, I'm trying to. It's powerful.
It is, right? It's a powerful image that invites us to let go of our limited sense of self
Hmm.
and to experience a deeper connection to something, greater than ourselves.
Hmm.
But the book also acknowledges that this kind of letting go can be, daunting,
Right.
even frightening for some people.
Of course, yeah.
It shares this anecdote about a scholar who resisted crying during meditation
Why?
because he was afraid of what others would think.
Oh, wow.
Right. It's like it highlights how fear can hold us back
Yeah,
in our inner journey.
definitely. Fear can be such a powerful thing.
Right. So it asks us, what fears might be limiting you?
Oh, gosh.
What judgments are you holding on to?
Yeah.
The ones that prevent you from fully expressing yourself.
That's deep.
It is. It's important for us to reflect on this, as we move deeper into this exploration of energy and consciousness.
I agree. So what comes next?
Well, the book uses this vivid imagery of a spiral form to represent this rising energy within us. Like, as we confront and release our limitations,
Hi.
it's about trusting the process of awakening, even when it feels intense
Oh, yeah.
or unfamiliar.
Yeah, for sure.
The book encourages us to embrace this spiral energy, to imagine the closed doors within us swinging open as we move through this process,
I like that.
right? Like, what possibilities might those open doors reveal?
Yeah, it's exciting to think about.
It is. It's an invitation to step into the unknown, to explore the uncharted territories of our own being.
Makes sense.
Right. And then it shifts its focus to something completely different. It starts talking about the effortless blooming of a flower.
Okay.
It's drawing a parallel to our own potential for growth and expression.
I see.
Like, the key takeaway here is that attaching purpose or expectations to our growth can actually hinder our natural unfolding.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just as a flower blooms, without striving or aiming for a specific outcome.
Yeah.
Maybe true fulfillment comes from embracing that process of becoming, rather than forcing ourselves into a predetermined mold.
That's a good point.
It challenges us to reconsider our relationship with effort
Yeah.
and surrender,
Right.
control and allowing. It also ties into the book's contrast between materialism and spiritualism.
Okay, so what's it saying about that?
Well, it doesn't reject the material world. It's not like that.
Okay.
But it encourages us to shift our focus,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
From external acquisitions to inner exploration. Like, what is the true nature of reality?
Big question.
Right. Where do we find that lasting meaning and purpose? These are the questions that lie at the heart of this exploration.
I can see that.
And this exploration, according to the book, it involves understanding the different aspects of the mind.
Okay.
It introduces these terms chitta and intellect to describe different expressions of the mind.
Okay, I'm listening. Break it down for me.
So chitta is like the mind in its free-flowing, unfocused state,
Oh, okay.
like daydreaming.
Got it.
And intellect, on the other hand, that's the mind directed towards a specific purpose, like a scientist working on a problem.
Makes sense.
So it's all mind, but expressed in different ways, with different qualities and potentials.
That's fascinating.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, the book points to a state where the knower, the known, and knowledge itself, they all merge into this unified experience.
Wow.
It draws connections to ancient texts that explore this concept of ultimate unity, where the boundaries between observer and observed just dissolve.
So like.
Imagine experiencing a tree, not as something separate from yourself, but as this unified experience of tree where there's no longer that distinction between you, the act of perceiving, and the object of perception.
Oh, that's a mind bender.
Right. It's a profound concept that challenges our usual ways of thinking and perceiving. And it also seems to connect to the book's perspective on time as a mental construct.
Okay. How so?
Well, we've all experienced how time seems to fly when we're engrossed in something enjoyable,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
or drag on when we're feeling miserable.
Totally.
The book suggests that in profound spiritual experiences, time might cease to exist as we know it.
Really?
It describes entering into meditation as happening in the space between moments.
Whoa.
beyond the constraints of linear time.
That's wild.
It's a mind-bending concept. It expands our understanding of the nature of reality.
Definitely.
And the book, it uses a powerful metaphor
Mhm.
to illustrate this shift in consciousness.
Okay. What is it?
It talks about entering a temple,
Oh,
right?
right.
Where all material possessions and attachments, they have to be left behind.
Hmm.
It's about shedding the baggage of the ego,
Yeah.
all the things that we identify with,
Right.
to enter this space of pure being,
Mm.
a realm of emptiness and potentiality.
I like that.
The book tells a story, too, about a Hindu monk,
Okay.
and he had these good intentions, right? But he missed an opportunity to connect with this spiritual master because he was clinging to his routines and expectations.
Oh, wow.
It highlights how, even with the best intentions, our attachments can blind us
Yeah.
to what's right in front of us.
That's so true.
This story also kind of leads into one of the central practices in the book, a 10-minute meditation technique.
Okay, tell me more.
So it involves deep breathing
Hmm.
and repeatedly asking the question, who am I?
Mm. Who am I?
Right.
Okay.
This deceptively simple practice, it's designed to go beyond just that surface level answer, right?
Yeah.
Our name, our social roles.
Okay.
It delves into the depths of our being, to uncover the core of our true identity.
Wow, I see.
The book emphasizes the intensity with which this question should be explored. It's like squeezing all our strength into each inquiry.
Interesting. So what kind of answer are we looking for?
It's not really about arriving at a definitive answer.
Oh, okay.
It's more about engaging in this process of self-discovery, a journey into the mystery of our own being.
I like that. So it's a process.
It is. And the book outlines 4 stages of meditation,
Okay.
each building upon the last,
Yeah.
guiding us deeper into this exploration of consciousness.
I'm ready. What are they?
So the first stage involves exertion,
Okay.
pushing the body with intense breathing and catharsis.
Got it.
Then comes a stage of deep relaxation,
Mm-hmm.
followed by self-inquiry through the who am I technique.
Okay.
And finally, there's this stage of complete surrender.
Surrender.
Yeah, letting go of all effort
Right.
and just being receptive to whatever arises.
Mm.
So it's a journey from effort to surrender,
Mm-hmm.
from striving to allowing, a process of unfolding that mirrors the natural world around us.
That's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah.
But is it easy?
Well, the book also warns us against complacency on this journey, emphasizing the importance of staying vigilant and receptive to the subtle cues that guide us.
Okay, yeah.
It shares this anecdote about sleeping priests. I know, right? They missed the arrival of a chariot that they believed belonged to God.
Wow.
The message is pretty clear,
What's it?
Stay awake, be present, pay attention, and don't assume you already know what the divine will look like
Right.
or when it'll appear.
Yeah.
So it's not just about reaching a certain state, but cultivating this quality of awareness
Mhm.
that allows us to perceive those subtle unfoldings of our own being.
That makes sense. Reminds me of the whole thing about labor and rest.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting how the book connects those,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
It suggests that exertion actually makes relaxation more profound, just like a good night's sleep is more satisfying after a day of hard work.
That's true.
Right. So how do you experience rest after intense activity? Do you notice a difference in the quality of your relaxation?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like after a challenging hike or a really intense workout,
Mm-hmm.
my body, it just seems to melt into this state of deep relaxation.
Yeah, exactly. But the book takes this idea a step further. It suggests that reaching a peak of tension is actually a prerequisite for deep relaxation and meditation.
Interesting.
It's like, imagine climbing to the peak of a mountain.
Okay.
The exertion, the effort, the tension building in your muscles.
Yeah.
And then, when you reach that summit, you surrender, you let go, and allow yourself to descend into this state of peaceful ease.
Wow, what a great analogy.
It captures the essence of this concept beautifully. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
It reframes tension, not as something to be avoided, but as a necessary element in this cycle of exertion and release, effort and surrender.
It's like you need both.
Exactly.
Okay. So how do we apply that, I guess?
Well, the book delves into this practice of witnessing the breath.
Okay. What's that?
It involves deep conscious breathing,
Mm-hmm.
but while simultaneously observing the breath, just noticing its flow, without interfering.
Okay. Yeah.
It's about cultivating this sense of separation from the body and thoughts, like becoming the observer rather than the experiencer.
I can see how that would be helpful.
Right. I think it could lead to a greater sense of inner peace, stillness,
Yeah.
like a detachment from that constant chatter of the mind.
Yeah, makes sense.
The book also, it emphasizes the importance of authentic expression,
Okay.
of not suppressing our emotions.
Oh, yeah.
It argues that suppressing emotions can actually lead to blockages and imbalances,
Oh, wow.
physically, energetically.
Really?
So instead, it encourages us to express our emotions in healthy ways,
Okay.
to acknowledge and release them rather than just bottling them up.
I see.
Makes you think about like the different ways we've been conditioned,
Oh, yeah.
to
Yeah.
express or suppress our emotions.
For sure. Like, we learned that from such an early age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How has your own experience with emotional expression and suppression impacted you?
Well,
Like, how has it impacted your well-being?
that's a great question for each of us to think about, honestly.
Right. It's something we all face. And the book makes this really interesting observation. It talks about the potential convergence of science and religion,
Oh, okay. Interesting.
in profound experiences.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, it cites examples like Marie Curie's discovery of radium, highlighting how intuition and surrender played a role, not just in spiritual breakthroughs, but in scientific ones too.
Wow, I see.
So it suggests that there may not be such a rigid divide between these two realms of knowledge, that maybe they're just different languages
Yeah.
describing the same underlying reality.
That's fascinating.
It's a fascinating perspective.
It is. So what else?
Well, then it goes into the transformative power of intense energy experiences.
Okay.
And it suggests that, they might resemble madness at first,
Oh, wow.
but ultimately lead to stillness and quiet.
Okay.
It's like riding a wave of energy, initially chaotic and overwhelming, but eventually settling into this calm and expansive state.
I can see that.
It's a reminder that transformation isn't always this smooth or linear process.
Right.
So sometimes we need to embrace the chaos,
Yeah.
embrace the intensity to reach a deeper level of peace and understanding.
That's true. So what does it say about, like, sanity?
Well, the book offers this really unique definition of sanity. It defines it as the ability to be one's own master,
Oh, interesting.
to control our thoughts and emotions rather than being controlled by them.
Okay, yeah.
It's about reclaiming our agency over our inner world rather than being tossed about,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
every passing thought or feeling.
For sure. It can feel like that sometimes.
Right. To illustrate this point, it shares an anecdote about Gurdjieff.
Who's that?
He was a spiritual teacher, and he used these really unconventional methods, like excessive drinking.
What?
Yeah.
To teach?
Well, to break his students' conditioned patterns.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know it's kind of a controversial anecdote, but it highlights the importance of challenging those ingrained beliefs,
Yeah.
challenging those habits to facilitate spiritual growth.
Right.
It's about disrupting our autopilot mode,
Yeah.
shaking things up and creating the conditions for transformation to occur.
Makes sense.
And this leads into the book's introduction of Shaktipat.
Shaktipat.
Yeah, it's the transmission of divine energy
Okay.
from a teacher to a student.
Interesting. So how does that work?
Well, the book emphasizes the importance of the receiver's receptivity and the transmitter's egolessness for this transmission to actually be effective.
Makes sense.
But it also cautions that it's a powerful process
Right.
that requires careful preparation
Yeah.
and a deep level of trust
I bet.
between the teacher and student.
Of course.
It's almost like handling a high voltage current.
Oh, wow.
You need the right equipment and understanding to harness its power safely.
So what comes next?
Well, the book returns to those stages of meditation,
Yeah.
specifically focusing on the second stage. This involves intense breathing
Okay.
as a way to physically stimulate the energy center within.
Interesting.
It's like using the breath to stoke the inner fire, to awaken this dormant energy.
Yeah, I can see that.
The book emphasizes the importance of full engagement,
Okay.
of not holding back in this practice.
Right.
It's about pushing beyond our comfort zones and embracing the intensity of the experience, trusting that this intensity is actually a catalyst for transformation.
That makes sense.
And then it leads into that final stage of meditation.
Okay. What's that like?
where even the effort of breathing and self-inquiry, those are surrendered
Mm-hmm.
to this state of complete relaxation and receptivity.
Wow.
Like, imagine yourself in that state,
Yeah.
completely relaxed, yet
Yeah.
fully aware,
Mm.
bathed in this inner light of pure being.
Mm.
The book paints such a vivid picture of this state,
Mm. Yeah.
of emptiness and fullness,
Mm-hmm.
dissolving into the vastness of existence.
That sounds amazing.
It's a state of profound peace and liberation, a glimpse of the boundless nature of our true being.
Wow. But how do we know if we're getting it right?
That's a good question.
Mm.
The book actually cautions against claiming to know these spiritual truths
Okay.
without direct experience.
Right.
It's about humility,
Mm.
recognizing that language and concepts, those are limited tools
Yeah,
when it comes to describing the ineffable.
that's true.
It's like trying to describe the taste of chocolate to someone who's never had it.
Right, yeah.
Words can only go so far.
Exactly. It's beyond words.
Right. So the book tackles this rather sensitive topic,
Oh.
the naturalness of the body.
Okay.
It challenges societal norms and the fear of nudity.
Hmm. Interesting.
It's a bold stance that invites us to, to question these ingrained beliefs and societal conditioning
Yeah,
that often create shame and fear around the natural state of our bodies.
right, for sure. So what's it saying we should do?
Well, the book's intention here isn't to advocate for a specific lifestyle,
Okay.
but to encourage us to shed inhibitions, embrace authenticity, move beyond shame.
Mm-hmm. And like
It's about reclaiming the body as a sacred vessel,
yeah,
rather than viewing it through this lens of societal judgments and expectations.
makes sense.
And it leads into another story from the book about a thief.
Oh, okay.
He vows not to steal during a pilgrimage.
Hmm.
It's a relatable struggle, right? Trying to break free from those old habits,
Oh, yeah.
that conditioning,
Yeah,
even when we have the best intentions.
totally. It can be so hard.
So it makes you think, what habits are you clinging to
Oh, gosh.
that might be hindering your personal growth,
Lots to ponder.
right? It's a question worth pondering as we consider,
Mm.
the transformative power of commitment and the ongoing challenge of aligning our actions with our aspirations.
I agree. It's an ongoing process.
It is. And this story, it also connects to the book's critique of what it calls false celibacy.
False celibacy.
Yeah, where individuals, they cling to this idea of celibacy,
Heh. Mm-hmm.
but they're still harboring those sexual desires.
No, I see.
So the book explores the deeper meaning of celibacy
Okay.
as a state of inner transformation, not merely, physical abstinence.
Mm-hmm.
It's about transcending that duality of desire and repression,
Okay.
reaching a state of wholeness, of integration,
Mm-hmm.
where we're no longer at war with ourselves.
And that makes sense.
It's about recognizing that true transformation happens at the level of being, not just behavior.
Right.
And this reminds me of the book's recommendation to create a dedicated space for meditation,
Oh, okay.
like a sanctuary, free from distractions,
Mm-hmm.
imbued with the energy of practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like building a temple,
Yeah.
within your own home, a physical representation of your commitment to...
To inner growth and exploration.
Right. It sets the stage for that inner work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can see that.
And the book also delves into the impact of group meditation,
Oh. Like
suggesting that the combined energy of a group, it can create a really powerful and transformative atmosphere.
Interesting.
It's like the difference between, a solo campfire and a bonfire.
Yeah.
Both have their place, but the collective energy of a bonfire can be truly awe-inspiring.
I can see that.
And then the book, it takes us even further down the rabbit hole,
Oh.
suggesting that meditation can actually unlock memories and experiences from past lives.
Wow.
It even uses the example of remembering a past life as a tree.
That's pretty far out.
It is, right. But the book, it presents it as a genuine possibility,
Okay.
suggesting that our consciousness, it's not limited to our current physical embodiment.
Interesting.
It invites us to consider the possibility of this vast and interconnected web of existence, where the boundaries of time and identity, they become fluid and permeable.
Mm-hmm. I see where they're going with that.
Right. And this leads into the book's discussion of extrasensory experiences.
Extrasensory experiences.
Yeah, those that arise as energy awakens within us.
Okay. Like what kind?
Well, it compares these experiences to, like, a bird sensing an earthquake before it happens,
Oh, wow.
suggesting that, as we become more attuned to these subtle energies, we might develop heightened sensitivities and perceptions,
That's fascinating.
right? It's like developing an inner radar,
Mm-hmm.
picking up signals beyond the range of our ordinary senses.
I like that. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then the book circles back to the concept of Shaktipat,
Oh, right.
but this time describing it as like a lightning bolt
Whoa.
of energy transmission
Okay.
that can actually accelerate spiritual awakening.
So it's more intense.
Yeah. It reiterates the importance of a qualified medium, though, and the potential dangers if the receiver isn't prepared
Right, of course.
for such an intense influx of energy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like the difference between a gentle breeze and a hurricane.
Mhm.
Both are forms of wind, right?
Yeah,
But their impact can be drastically different.
definitely. So how's that different from grace?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
The book actually distinguishes between the two, compares Shaktipat to electricity in a house versus lightning in the sky.
Okay. I think I see where you're going with this. So Shaktipat is like
Right.
a directed transmission.
Okay. And grace is
More spontaneous.
spontaneous, like a gift from the universe.
Exactly, a spontaneous outpouring of divine energy. Have you ever experienced like sudden insights or unexpected breakthroughs?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It can be amazing.
Right. It feels like a gift, right? Like we've tapped into this source of wisdom that transcends our individual minds.
Totally.
And speaking of the mind, the book also explores the ego
Okay.
and how it can distort our perception,
Of
ourselves and others.
Oh, right. The ego.
It's about recognizing the ego as this construct,
Okay.
a collection of thoughts and beliefs that create this sense of separation from the world around us. That makes sense. So what's the harm in that?
Well, it's like wearing a pair of tinted glasses.
Uh-huh.
That color everything we see.
I see. It limits us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the book uses another analogy.
No. What's this one?
It describes the physical, emotional, and mental bodies as like diving boards.
Diving boards.
Yeah. That can actually propel us into spiritual experiences.
Okay, so not about getting rid of them.
No, not about rejecting or transcending these bodies.
Okay.
But about using them as tools, like springboards, to launch us into deeper realms of awareness.
Interesting.
It's like a dancer, using the strength and flexibility of their physical body to express emotions and ideas.
I get it. So we use what we have to go further.
Exactly. And then the book goes into a historical discussion.
Okay. About what?
Well, about why some spiritual teachings weren't initially recorded.
That's interesting.
It suggests that oral transmission, it allowed for more personalized instruction and minimized the risk of misinterpretation.
Oh.
It's like learning a complex skill from a master craftsman.
Right.
Direct guidance and feedback, those are essential for proper understanding and execution.
That makes sense.
So the book really emphasizes the importance of the living transmission of knowledge,
Okay.
where teachings are embodied and passed on through that direct experience and interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of leads into the book's exploration of the idea that spiritual growth can begin with either the body or the soul.
Okay. So both paths work.
Yeah, it's like it uses the analogy of two hands belonging to the same truth.
Mm-hmm. So not about choosing one or the other.
Right. It's not about that.
Okay.
But recognizing that both ultimately lead to that same destination. So which path do you feel more drawn to? The path of the body or the path of the soul?
That's a good question.
I think.
It's something to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the book introduces this concept of the Kundalini.
Kundalini.
It's this dormant energy, right? Located at the base of the spine. And it's described as like the source of all bodily energy. Interesting.
It's like this hidden reservoir of power waiting to be tapped into.
Okay, and how do we do that?
Well, it's often depicted as this coiled serpent,
Okay.
representing this potent energy that lies dormant within us, just waiting to be awakened.
I see.
I know this concept might seem a bit esoteric or mystical at first.
Yeah, a little bit.
But the book, it presents it in a way that feels grounded and intriguing.
Okay, so what does it say about awakening it?
Well, it suggests that awakening the Kundalini can lead to like profound transformation, enhancing our vitality, our creativity, our spiritual awareness.
Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff.
It is, right. It's like activating a hidden power source within us, unleashing this surge of energy that can propel us to new levels of being. And the book, it emphasizes that this energy isn't something we need to acquire from, an external source.
Right.
It's something that already resides within us.
So it's already there.
Yeah, just waiting to be activated.
I like that idea.
Right. It's a reminder that we possess this incredible potential for growth and transformation, that we have access to this wellspring of energy and wisdom
Yeah.
that can support us on our journey.
Cool. So where does this nirvana thing fit in?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
The book actually connects the awakening of the Kundalini to the concept of nirvana,
Okay.
which is described as like the ultimate liberation from suffering.
So is it like happiness?
This liberation, it's not about escaping the world
Okay.
or denying the realities of human existence.
Right.
But it's about transcending the limitations of the ego
Mm-hmm.
and experiencing this profound sense of peace
Okay.
and freedom that's independent of external circumstances.
So no matter what's going on outside,
Exactly.
we can find that peace.
Right. And the book encourages us to, visualize merging with this energy center,
Okay.
experiencing this state of blissful union that dissolves the boundaries of the individual self.
Wow. That sounds pretty amazing.
It is, right. It's a journey from separation to unity,
Mm-hmm.
from limitation to boundless expansion.
I like that. But, it also sounds kind of scary.
Oh, definitely.
Hmm.
The book acknowledges that this journey can be challenging, that fears and doubts might arise
Yeah.
as we confront the unknown.
Right. Like, how do we deal with that?
Well, the book encourages us to face those fears with courage,
Okay.
recognizing that clinging to a sense of security,
Yeah.
that can actually hinder our growth.
That's true. The more we try to hold on,
Right.
the more we might miss out.
Exactly.
So true security isn't about holding on.
Right. It's about developing that inner strength and resilience to embrace the unknown.
I like that.
And the book also cautions against seeking spiritual shortcuts or relying on external authorities for, validation or direction.
Right. Like, we have to do the work ourselves.
Exactly. It critiques those who claim to have all the answers
Mm-hmm.
and demand obedience from their followers.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very healthy.
No, it's not. It's about recognizing that the true guru, it resides within each of us, and that the journey of awakening, it's ultimately a solo mission.
Even if we're doing it with other people.
Well, even as we connect with others who share the path.
Okay, I see.
This emphasis on self-reliance, it reminds us that we're responsible for our own growth
Right.
and that we have the capacity to navigate this journey, using our own inner compass.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful.
And then the book goes into this perspective on relationships.
Okay. What about them?
It talks about the limitations of all relationships, even spiritual ones.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, it might seem counterintuitive at first,
Mm-hmm.
especially, given the emphasis on connection and unity.
Yeah, that's true. So is it saying we shouldn't have relationships?
No, it's not about rejecting relationships
Okay.
or advocating for isolation,
Got it.
but it's about recognizing that true connection, it arises from a place of wholeness within ourselves.
Oh, I see. So not looking for someone else to complete us.
Right. It's about developing that sense of inner security and self-love that allows us to engage in relationships from a place of freedom
Yeah.
and authenticity.
That makes a lot more sense.
The book uses this analogy. It's like learning to swim so we can enjoy the ocean without needing to cling to a life raft.
Oh, I love that. That's a great analogy.
Right. It's about developing those inner resources and that resilience to navigate the waters of life.
Yeah.
Without becoming dependent on external support.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And then it explores the nature of grace,
Okay.
describing it as this spontaneous outpouring of divine energy that can't be earned or controlled.
So we can't make it happen.
Right. It's like a sudden downpour
Uh-huh.
on a dry and thirsty land,
Yeah.
a gift that arrives unexpectedly
Yeah.
and nourishes everything it touches.
That's beautiful.
It is.
But how do we, how do we stay open to it?
Well, it's a reminder that sometimes those most profound shifts, they happen when we least expect them.
Oh, okay.
When we surrender our efforts
Mm.
and allow ourselves to be receptive to the workings of a greater power.
So it's about letting go.
Yeah. This concept of grace, it invites us to cultivate a sense of humility and surrender, to recognize that we're not always in control.
Right.
And that sometimes those most transformative experiences, they arise when we let go of our striving. and allow ourselves to be guided by this wisdom beyond our own.
That's a good point.
And the book also cautions against seeking or fabricating spiritual experiences,
Okay.
emphasizing the importance of authenticity and genuineness.
So not trying to force anything.
Right. It's about being present to what is,
Mm-hmm.
rather than trying to force or manipulate experiences to conform to our, expectations or desires.
Yeah, I can see how that could be tempting.
It can be.
But ultimately, it's about accepting what is, right?
Exactly. And it's about facing ourselves and our experiences, with honesty, integrity, recognizing that the journey isn't about seeking blissful states,
Mm-hmm.
but about embracing the fullness of human experience
Right.
with all of its joys and sorrows,
Yeah.
challenges and triumphs.
Yeah. It's about the whole journey, not just the good parts.
Right. And then it shares this story about a magician.
Oh,
He used a stone to induce hypnotic trances.
interesting.
And it highlights the difference between, manipulating energy and allowing it to flow naturally.
Okay.
So it's like the difference between creating a forced illusion and cultivating, genuine transformation.
I get it.
So it serves as this cautionary tale
Okay.
against seeking those shortcuts or quick fixes on the spiritual path.
Right. So no magic wands.
Right. It reminds us that true growth and awakening, those require patience, perseverance, and a willingness to do the inner work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about the process.
And it's about recognizing that true power, it doesn't lie in controlling or manipulating energy,
Okay.
but in aligning ourselves with its natural flow and allowing it to move through us
Okay.
freely and effortlessly.
I like that.
And then it tells this story about a saint
Mm-hmm.
who, after attaining enlightenment, he had no more desires.
Wow. So like nothing he wanted anymore.
Yeah, it's this powerful image of fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
Of reaching a state where all those cravings and longings just dissolve,
Mm-hmm.
leaving only peace and contentment.
So what are we supposed to do with that?
Well, it challenges us to consider what true fulfillment might look like in our own lives,
Okay.
Beyond just the pursuit of fleeting pleasures or material possessions.
So like what actually makes us happy long term?
It's about recognizing that lasting happiness, it doesn't arise from those external acquisitions, but from cultivating a deep sense of inner peace and contentment.
Okay.
That's independent of circumstances.
That makes sense. So what's next?
Well, the book uses this beautiful analogy of energy flowing, like a river,
Okay.
nourishing and revitalizing without, claiming credit for its life-giving power.
I see. So it's about
It's a reminder that we're all part of a larger flow, a web of interconnectedness
right.
and interdependence, where energy and wisdom, they circulate freely.
I like that image. Makes me feel very connected to everything.
Me too.
So the next part is about hypnosis and meditation, right?
Yeah, the book compares and contrasts those two,
Okay.
highlighting the role of awareness and intention in each practice.
All right. So what's the difference?
Well, hypnosis, it tends to bypass conscious awareness,
Oh, okay.
inducing a state of suggestibility
Mm-hmm.
and often focusing on achieving, specific outcomes or behavioral changes.
Got it.
Whereas meditation, it cultivates and deepens awareness, inviting us to observe our inner world without judgment or attachment.
Okay.
It's like the difference between being swept away by a current and learning to navigate the river with skill.
Right. And intention.
Exactly.
So we're more in control with meditation.
Right. Meditation empowers us to become more conscious and intentional creators of our own experiences,
Okay.
rather than just being passively swayed by, external influences or unconscious patterns.
That makes sense. But I imagine some people might be afraid to really try it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The book addresses that, too. It talks about that fear of judgment that can, prevent people from fully participating in these practices.
Yeah.
Whether it's the fear of being perceived as strange or the fear of, confronting those uncomfortable emotions or beliefs.
Right.
So it shares a story about a skeptic who mocked meditation
Uh-oh.
until he experienced its transformative power firsthand.
Wow. So what changed his mind?
Well, it highlights the importance of openness
Mm-hmm.
and a willingness to step outside those comfort zones.
Yeah. You never know until you try it, right?
Exactly.
So how do we, get started?
Well, the book encourages us to cultivate a beginner's mind,
Okay. What's that?
approaching each moment with curiosity and wonder, rather than clinging to, like, those fixed beliefs and assumptions.
I can see that. So be open to new things.
Yeah. It's about recognizing that true learning and growth, those happen when we're willing to step into the unknown
Okay.
with an open heart
Mm-hmm.
and an inquiring mind.
Makes sense. What else does the book talk about?
Well, then it introduces this concept of Sahaja Yoga.
Sahaja yoga.
Yeah, describes it as a path of effortless
Effortless.
and natural awakening.
Hmm. So we don't have to work at it.
Well, it suggests that this awakening, it isn't something we need to strive for or achieve through, rigorous effort.
Okay.
But it's more a state of being that's already present within us,
Hmm.
just waiting to be unveiled.
That's interesting.
Right. It's about recognizing that inherent perfection and completeness of our true nature, rather than getting caught up in, this illusion of separation and incompleteness.
So we're already whole.
Exactly.
We just have to remember that.
It's like remembering something, that we've always known but forgotten along the way.
Yeah, I like that.
The book keeps circling back to this idea of surrender.
Okay. Letting go again.
Right. Of letting go of effort and control. Trusting in the wisdom of the universe.
Yeah.
It revisits that story of the thief on pilgrimage.
All right.
Highlighting how easily we slip back into those old habits.
Yeah.
And the importance of, continuous self-awareness.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's like learning to walk a tightrope.
Mm-hmm.
It takes constant attention and balance to stay on course.
Totally. We can get distracted so easily.
And then use this example of individuals who use a book on celibacy, right?
Okay.
As justification for continuing their sexual activities.
Oh, wow. So like using it as an excuse.
Yeah, and it's highlighting this cycle of desire and repression that can hinder spiritual growth.
I see. Not really facing themselves.
Right. So it's a reminder to, be honest with ourselves, examine our motivations and behaviors, and identify those areas where we might be engaging in self-deception or clinging to beliefs or, habits that no longer serve us.
Right.
So it's about cultivating self-awareness and a willingness to, confront our shadow.
Our shadow.
Yeah, to acknowledge those parts of ourselves
Okay.
that we might prefer to keep hidden.
Right.
It's about recognizing that true transformation, it requires us to face ourselves fully, with all our imperfections and contradictions.
Yeah. I love it.
And
Right.
embrace that messy and often challenging process of growth and evolution.
It's a journey.
It is. And then the book emphasizes the importance of intense breathing
Okay.
as a key element in meditation.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah, it describes it as a way to, clear blockages, increase vitality,
Okay.
and awaken that dormant energy.
Right.
It's like using the breath to cleanse and revitalize the body,
I like
creating
that.
this more receptive vessel for those spiritual experiences.
Makes sense.
The book describes the practice of deep conscious breathing, as this powerful tool
Okay.
for regulating our nervous system, calming the mind,
Yeah.
connecting with that life force that flows through us.
So it's really important.
It is. It's about recognizing the breath as like a bridge
A bridge.
between the physical and the spiritual.
Oh, wow.
This tangible link to the present moment and to the source of life itself.
It's beautiful.
And then the book, it uses this analogy to describe that transformative power of focused intention
Okay.
and dedicated effort.
What is it?
It compares the process of spiritual transformation to the moment when water turns into steam.
Oh, wow.
So it's this sudden and radical shift in state,
Mm.
this complete metamorphosis that requires a certain threshold of heat and pressure to occur.
Okay.
And it highlights the importance of fully committing to our inner work, bringing passion and intensity to our spiritual practice. It's not about, dipping our toes in the water, but diving in head first, embracing the challenges and discomfort that come with profound transformation.
So go all in.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then the book revisits the fear of losing energy or vitality,
Okay.
reminding us that we have nothing to lose and everything to gain by embarking on this journey of self-discovery.
So what do we have to be afraid of?
Right. It's like clinging to a handful of sand when we could be swimming in the vastness of the ocean.
I see.
It's shift in perspective,
Yeah.
from scarcity to abundance, from fear to trust.
That makes sense.
And as we come to the end of this exploration, it seems fitting that the book returns to the theme of nudity.
Oh, right. Okay.
But this time, emphasizing the importance of embracing authenticity. shedding those layers of conditioning and societal expectations that prevent us from expressing our true selves.
So be who we truly are.
Exactly.
Without hiding.
It's a call to celebrate our unique expression of the divine.
Okay.
In all its, glorious imperfections.
I like that. So not trying to be perfect.
Right.
Just be ourselves.
It's about reclaiming our natural state of being, free from shame
Okay.
and judgment.
That's a good place to end.
It is, right? What a profound and inspiring journey this book has taken us on.
It really has. It's given us a lot to think about.
It has, right?
Yeah.
It's a reminder that the true journey of awakening, it unfolds not outside of ourselves, but within.
Yeah.
It's a call to embrace our authentic selves, trust our inner guidance, and step boldly into the unknown, knowing that we're supported by this infinite wisdom and love that flows through us all.
That's a beautiful thought.
It is. And it's a reminder that the journey of self-discovery, it's an ongoing process,
Right.
a dance between effort and surrender, a spiral of awakening that unfolds with each breath, each moment, each choice we make.
It really is. It's about recognizing that, true freedom lies in embracing our authenticity rather than trying to conform to those external expectations or societal norms.
Right. And that ties back into the broad discussion of, nudity and the naturalness of the body.
Yeah, exactly. The book encourages us to reclaim the body as a sacred vessel, to honor its natural wisdom and beauty.
And it's not about, advocating for a specific lifestyle or anything like that.
Right. It's more about shifting our perspective.
Yeah, and this reminds me of that story about the thief who, vows not to steal during the pilgrimage.
Oh, yeah. The one who keeps struggling.
Right, and it's a story about this struggle to break free from those old habits and conditioning. A reminder that transformation is an ongoing process.
It really is.
Yeah.
We might have those moments of clarity and insight, but true change requires ongoing effort, self-awareness, and a willingness to face those moments when we fall back into old patterns.
Right. It's not about beating ourselves up when we mess up.
No, exactly. The book highlights the importance of recognizing those moments of relapse, not with judgment, but with compassion and understanding, and gently guiding ourselves back to the path of growth.
It's like we're learning to walk again.
Yeah, exactly. And this resonates with the book's example of those who use a book on celibacy as justification for continuing their sexual activities.
Right, like they're trying to bypass the work.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we can't just bypass or suppress those natural impulses or desires.
Right.
That true transformation, it involves integrating all aspects of ourselves.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Exactly.
You can't just pick and choose.
Right. It's about being honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
About our motivations, our behaviors, and avoiding that trap of self-deception.
So it's not just about what we do, but why we do it.
Right. True spiritual growth, it involves facing ourselves fully, acknowledging those desires and impulses without judgment, and finding those healthy and balanced ways to express them.
It's all about finding that balance.
Yeah, exactly.
And this integration of our, what some people call our shadow selves, it seems to be a recurring theme in the book.
Yeah, definitely. It's about embracing the fullness of who we are, with all those imperfections, the contradictions.
Not trying to be perfect.
Right. Rather than trying to become some idealized version of ourselves that doesn't even exist.
Right. We're all works in progress.
Exactly.
And the book, it keeps circling back to the importance of the breath.
Right.
And the practice of, intense breathing as a key element in meditation.
Yeah. It's such a simple thing, but so powerful.
It is. The breath is this powerful tool for, clearing those blockages, increasing vitality, awakening that dormant energy.
Right. It's like this bridge.
A bridge between the physical and the spiritual.
Yeah. This tangible link to the present moment and to the source of life itself.
It's like coming home to ourselves.
Exactly. And the book describes the practice of, deep conscious breathing as this powerful tool for regulating our nervous system.
Right.
Calming the mind, connecting with that life force that flows through us.
And then it uses this powerful analogy.
Oh, yeah. The one about...
to describe the transformative power of focused intention.
Right.
And dedicated effort.
Okay. Remind me what it was.
It compares the process of spiritual transformation to that moment when water turns to steam.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's sudden. It's radical.
Okay.
This complete metamorphosis. It requires a certain threshold of heat and pressure for it to occur.
So we have to apply ourselves.
Right. And it highlights the importance of, fully committing to our inner work, bringing that passion, that intensity to our spiritual practice.
Not just dabbling.
Right. It's about diving in head first.
Yeah.
Embracing those challenges, that discomfort.
Yeah.
That come with profound transformation.
Right, because that's where the real growth happens.
Exactly. And then the book circles back to that fear of losing energy or vitality.
Oh, right.
Reminding us that we have nothing to lose and everything to gain by embarking on this journey of self-discovery.
Because ultimately, we're not losing anything. We're just transforming.
It's like clinging to, a handful of sand when we could be swimming in the vastness of the ocean.
Such a good analogy. It really captures that feeling of limitless possibility.
It does, right. And it's that shift in perspective from scarcity to abundance, from fear to trust.
And that's really what this whole journey is about, isn't it?
It is, trusting the process.
Yeah.
And as we come to the end of our exploration here, it seems fitting that the book returns to the theme of nudity.
Oh, right. Okay.
But this time, it emphasizes the importance of embracing authenticity.
So not just about the physical body anymore.
Right. It's about shedding those layers of, conditioning and societal expectations that prevent us from expressing our true selves.
It's about being vulnerable.
It is.
And letting ourselves be seen.
Exactly.
For who we really are.
It's a call to celebrate, our unique expression of the divine.
And all its, glorious imperfections.
Exactly.
You don't have to hide those anymore.
We don't. It's about reclaiming that natural state of being, free from shame and judgment.
That's powerful.
It is, right? What a profound and inspiring journey this book has taken us on.
It really has. It's given us a lot to think about and a lot to, work with in our own lives.
It has. It's challenged us to reconsider our assumptions about energy, about consciousness, about the very nature of reality itself.
And ultimately, it's shown us that the power to transform it lies within each of us.
It does. So we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
Yeah, and inspired you to, explore these concepts further.
Maybe even pick up the book and dive in yourself.
Absolutely.
Until next time, may your path be filled with wonder, courage, and that transformative power of self-discovery.
And remember, the journey starts within.